Here are 3 ways in which AI integrates into your text workflows that cut your time in half. These tools work seamlessly alongside your current workflows, so no copy-pasting into ChatGPT. I'll show you how to summarize long pages on the fly and ask the AI questions about the content. Then you'll learn how to let the AI draft emails for you and respond to long threads in a single click. And you'll learn how to use the AI to find up-to-date information on any topic. At the end, you learn how to save time on LinkedIn outreach by generating personalized messages from multiple contacts at a time with nothing else than Google Sheet and ChatGPT. It's that simple. You can download the complete document by clicking the link in the video description below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so that you get the latest videos directly into your inbox. Now let's dive straight in. Monica is a smart assistant that's integrated directly into your browsing experience that uses ChatGPT to process data in the background. It can summarize and generate text for simple and repetitive daily tasks. Let's have a look at how it works. It has a handy keyboard shortcut, Control-M, that opens a sidebar. So let's assume I have this very long blog article that I want to get summarized quickly because I don't have the time to read through it completely. So Monica gives me various options here. Let's say I want to summarize this page. Now Monica sends this data to ChatGPT in the background and gets a complete page summary back to me. It gives me a very neat summary in the way that we're already accustomed in ChatGPT, but without the hassle of copy-pasting the whole content into ChatGPT and back handling multiple browsers. So here we can see a summary and the key points. I can let Monica suggest follow-up questions that go deeper into the article. So basically, how does the author contrast the pace and demand of his work life with the experience of being in nature? It's very similar of how ChatGPT also suggests those follow-up questions. So now I can see each point here and I can go deeper into each of these points. So for example, I can ask, what's the author's opinion on mental clarity? So this is very useful if I want to know a specific part of the article without reading it completely, okay? It is very similar to how humans communicate, right? Somebody might tell you a story about a happening or about themselves, and then you ask them follow-up questions to dig deeper. And we can see how easily it is to dive deep into a topic quickly without reading the whole article. Another interesting thing what it can do is it can summarize a LinkedIn profile in a similar way. So I can ask specific questions about the candidate without reading through their whole profile, right? We know that people often like to write a lot of things in their about section, right? So for example, I can ask questions like, from the way this person writes his about section, what can you infer about his character traits? Then we open the sidebar here. I can click chat with this page inside Monica, then paste my prompt in here, and then let's see what it answers. Here it gives me a few traits about this candidate. I can even go deeper and ask, for example, what are some of the weaknesses that you think? And then I replace the name with a candidate's name. So then again, it will give me a very nicely formatted bullet list on all of the things that are important. And let's say I want to copy the candidate's profile into my applicant tracking system. So then I can say, give me these details in table format so I can copy them into my ATS. Right, very nice. And then format them in CSV format with the traits as columns, right? And then I have this CSV format that I can copy really easily and paste it anywhere I want, Google Sheets, whatsoever. Something else that I could use this, right? And you can think of any use case you want. You can be creative here. I can let it summarize a chat conversation I had with somebody on LinkedIn, right? So in this case, I'll go to my LinkedIn chats, and then let's just use the simple example of this promotion message, where I click summarize this page, so it will immediately see that it's a chat on LinkedIn and it will give me exactly the key points of this message. So now I can tell it, how should I best respond if I'm interested in finding out more and schedule a call with the recruiter? And then I can also specify the tone. Use a semi-formal and easygoing tone that's polite and opens up a conversation. So now it neatly drafts a message, thank you for reaching out, and so on. So then again, I can copy this message right down here with this handy button and paste it into the main conversation. So Monica has many more features. If you click the settings button, and if you go into the options tab, under the web page enhance section, you will have here the code assistant, so it can detect code on the website and summarize it for you. This is handy if you're maybe not a tech person and want to read through some documentation of your tech team. It lets you compare different AI models, give you summaries of GitHub. YouTube summaries are very useful, where you can see exactly what a video is about. And then literature assistant, which is very useful if you're doing research, so it will pop up in Google Scholar and compare different articles and give you suggestions. We won't go into further detail here. You can download the document anytime and play around with it. There's a link also to the Monica extension that you can install right away. The summary of this part is that it's as usable as ChatGPT. It has the same interface, but it works exactly where you are at that moment. It's right there. This is the power of this ChatGPT integration. Now let's see how Monica performs in terms of text generation. So not only can you summarize text with it, as we saw earlier, but you can also let it fill in forms online and let you save time on repetitive inputs, make change to the tone, and so on. It works inside of any form. It's just a click away. It has a handy email AI reply function that we will have a look right now. It understands the thread and drafts a reply matching the tone, style, and language that you want. So let's have a look at this example email that I received. It's an automated email from Stripe regarding some policy updates. So here, if I go to the bottom, I can see the usual buttons that I have from Gmail, like reply and forward, but I also have a new button called AI reply. So when I click this button, I get a new window that basically shows me the email summary, and then it lets me choose different options that I need for this reply, right? So for example, here it informs me what this update is about, that they have some new currencies and new merchant fees and so on, and then it quickly gives me options. Acknowledge the updates, thank you. So let's say, for example, I want to request clarification on current fees. And first I can choose the length and the format. Let's say I want something of a short length. I want it to be, let's say, I'm talking to a company executive, so let's say I choose a formal tone, and then I want the tone to be a bit concerned, right? Because I want them to take action. Okay, again, this is all imaginary, so I set these options and then I click request clarification on the current fees. So then it created the message according to these details, which is, thank you for the adaptive pricing. Could you please clarify how the elimination will affect, so on, so on. Okay, very nice. And then I can click the insert button, and it will automatically insert this message directly into my chat, right? So you can see this here, that basically it has done the work for me. Now I can still go on and, let's say, edit this and say, okay, please make sure anything I wanna include here, it's already pre-formatted, so I just add to the conversation and I can send it out right away. Pretty neat tool. I can also use this for email drafting, right? So in the previous example, I used an already existing thread, but now let's say I compose a completely new email. I would say, I don't know, let's say this is a customer request for a delayed shipping. Okay, I can copy this, and then here you will see this small button, which is Monica being integrated directly into your email. And I click Open Writing Assistant, and then tell me what to write, okay? And then I can use this subject line that I already had, and then again I can choose the tone. So in this case, I will choose, let's say, a casual tone. I want to have a message, and I want the tone to sound humble. All right, let's say I want to get some more information about this. So then it creates this message, and I can again insert it. And here I can edit it again. Hi, customer service team. Let's say hi, let's say DHL team. I hope you're doing well. I would like to request a delay in the shipping in my recent order. Order number, you know, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. to a later date. Could you please let me know the available options for the delivery? Thank you for your assistance. Best regards, Robert. Okay, so again, it provided a draft for me, it provided the context for me, so I could go in and basically change the parts that I didn't want to have and add in some more information. And so you can see the integration possibilities are endless. You can do this for any form around the internet. The whole idea of the thing is that you bring the power of ChatGPT text generation right into your current window, making everything more streamlined, potentially cutting your text working time in half. Now let's have a look at the second tool called Perplexity AI, okay? So this is a search engine that you use with prompting, right? You know from current search engines like Google and others that you basically input your text and it gives you the results, but you still have to sift through all the results. Many of them might not be relevant to your topic. So in this case, Perplexity extracts suitable search terms from your prompt and inputs them into a search engine in the background. Then it puts the content of the most relevant top hits into your context and executes your prompts on it. Okay, it also shows the sources of the information so you can visit the page. So let's have a look at how this works with, for example, with finding conferences for this weekend or meetup events where I can network in my current city. So for this one, we will use a prompting framework that is called role task format. So I created a detailed video about this. Make sure you watch it on my channel. We won't go into details here, but the main point here is that we split the prompt into 3 sections, telling the role, the task, and the output format of the AI agent. So in this case, we just copy this prompt into Perplexity. And basically, I prompted it to be an executive assistant that helps their boss with finding networking events, doing all the admin stuff. And I will also want you to find the networking events that I can attend this weekend. It should give me a list with the most important events. So let's see what it outputs. So here we can see the pages that it found and that it included in the context that I mentioned earlier. Here I can see the whole list of the sources that it used, so at any time I can click on any of them and see the exact details if I want to dig deeper. So it told me, okay, I apologize, I couldn't find any relevant business AI events specifically for this weekend, okay, but it gave me some other events that are upcoming in Barcelona that might be of interest. So for example, AI and AI Big Data Congress. Give me the list as a table. So then again, it will show me everything very neatly formatted. And then let's say I want to do a follow-up, right? So find other business meetups and events. I instructed to search on pages like Meetup or Eventbrite, and then it has searched for these events. And of course here it's asking me to log in. You can create an account, save all your prompts. It has some really nice features. And here is the table summarizing everything it has found on Meetup and Eventbrite. And let's say I want to, so this table, in my opinion, has too much information condensed. So I will say split the table. So let's see if it can, right, so it split the date, time, location, and so on its own. Very neat. Output as CSV. And then I can take this information, again, include it into my sheets, add some more information. So in conclusion, it's very useful for current real-time information, right? Because as we know, ChatGPT and other systems, by default, they are not connected to the internet. So the data they've been trained on is everything they have. They have a cutoff date. So that means they don't know what happened after that date. Also, you can use ChatGPT by explicitly instructing it to go online and search the internet. So it will give you similar results as Perplexity. But again, it won't go as deep as Perplexity. As you can see here, it has used around 8 to 10 pages. And here again, 8 to 10 pages. Usually ChatGPT goes through the first 3-4 pages, so it's not as in-depth, and Perplexity has been optimized for search. So if you want to find up-to-date events, I suggest you use Perplexity. If you want to use reasoning, and if you want to use problem solving, then go to ChatGPT. Now let's get cracking with the next integration, which is GPT for Sheets, which is a very handy integration that's an extension to Google Sheets that can communicate with ChatGPT in the background, right? So once it's installed, it introduces some new formulas like equals GPT or GPT list. We will see what this means. And basically, you will use these formulas the exact same way as with normal formulas, and then you can reference other cells with them. That's where the magic lies. The twist is that the data is being sent as prompts to ChatGPT and the result is being returned. Let's have an example to see exactly how this works in action. We will use, in the first example, data extraction, right? So let's say we want to go to an event and we want to extract the details from this, okay? So again, we will use the role task format prompting technique. So these are all the events, right? And they have a very long details section, okay? So this is very long and the data is not clearly extracted out of them. So I have to read through all of them in order to find the information that I want to know. Basically, what I want to know is the industry that they're targeting, a quick summary, right? Not such a long text, the type, so if it's a conference, workshop, and so on, the format, you get the point. You want to quickly see what's happening. Okay, so I go here, and here I formatted the prompt nicely so that I can just copy paste it. Again, you can download this document at any time, and you can try it out yourself. So GPT list means it asks ChatGPT for a prompt and formats the output as a list. Okay, so I want each of these criteria to be one column for each event. Later on, I can filter them and I can choose the events that are most interesting for me. So now I have to make sure that this column is the correct one. So the details are in here. So again, I use it exactly like any other Sheets function. Okay, so here I remove this placeholder, and basically this is the event data. It's on a new line, right? And now it's loading. I pre-filled this column already with all the relevant headers. So now, as I said, the hlist command splits the context. It splits the result into the respective column. So it's a horizontal list. So it extracted the duration. It's 1 day, it's in the afternoon, it's on various industries, a very short summary. The type is a conference, it's in-person, interactive, general audience, and large. So it took this whole description that is very long, and by the way, this is in Portuguese, so it translated it into English, which is very handy, and it did this for all these criteria. So now what's very handy is I can just drag this formula down, right? It applies this formula to all the relevant rows. And you see it's working, it's loading. So now I can come here and I can apply a filter. Right? So now, for example, I can choose everything that, let's say, lasts, let's say, 1 day. Let's have a look at the industry. So let's say I want to go into technology and innovation and fintech. Let's say which type I want to go to. I want to go to meetups and masterclasses. So then from a whole list of 200 events, I could drill down into the 3 events that were the most relevant for me very easily by extracting the information from the whole big details. Then I can click on this link and go straight to the sign up page, all super easily, right? Now let's have a look at another example with GPT for Sheets. In this case, I want to generate data, okay? As opposed to what we did previously to extract information, okay? So this is the other way around. So now I want to generate a text and send it as direct outreach messages on LinkedIn. I want to do this based on the profile data of the person I want to contact to make it personalized. So in this case, we will also use a third program called Bardeen, which is an extension for Google Chrome, and it is a scraper for web pages. it can go to any web page and extract systematic data into a Google Sheet. Let's have a look at how this works. We'll go to the LinkedIn search, and let's say I'm looking for CEO, founders, and executives of marketing companies in Barcelona. Now I go to filters, and I want to see all people. I go to all filters. I go to the location, and I use Barcelona. And then I use the industry. Let's go see, let's say, digital marketing. All right. Now I filter all the results, and I have 482 results. Let's say I also want to choose people who speak English. So now I have 230 results, okay? Now I want to get this list into Google Sheets so that I can work with it. Now I open Bardeen, and as you see, it opens above my page. So now I can go to Playbooks, and I've already configured a pipeline, okay? This is a no-code tool where I can give it specific instructions such as scrape data on the active tab, create a new Google Sheet, and then add the rows to the Google Sheet. I won't go into the details of this right now. I will just run this example. First is the number of items that I have to specify. Create a new sheet with name sample test data. And then the title of the sheet will be test data LinkedIn. Okay, this can be anything that's useful for you. Now I click run the playbook. So now in the background, it picks the first entries, okay, that I have pre-configured and pastes them into a Google Sheet. So now I can view the Google Sheet in the tab test data LinkedIn, and I can see here that it has copied them. All right, the fourth entry was an ad. I can delete this. And now I have these people. And what's interesting now, I can go on and connect with each of them. And then I add a new column called About. All right, and let's say I go to the first two and copy their profile data. I'll go to the About section. Okay, this is just an example. Right here. And copy the About section again. All right, so this was just for illustrative purposes. So now comes the interesting part. Now I can let ChatGPT create a costume outreach message. Let's make this a bit bigger. Let's say costume message. All right. I have already prepared a prompt again in the role task format system that I again copy. Let's first have a look at the prompt, okay? So I'm telling it, you're a proficient copywriter. I'm giving it an example message that it has to adhere to. So this is a message that I would send out manually anyways, which is, hi name, I saw your condense the job title in condense the industry. So ideally ChatGPT would extract this information out of the About section, okay? I work as a Gen AI consultant living in Barcelona, so on, blah, blah, blah. Let's have a look at the fields that will be extracted from ChatGPT, which is the most interesting part. Like, insert a short and impressive fact from their profile description. Most people would write something interesting they achieved in their About section. And the point is here that we can let ChatGPT extract this automatically, right? So this saves us time so that we don't need to read about everything in detail, right? Obviously, at some point, we will go into detail, but if you contact many people, it's much easier to have ChatGPT help you here, okay? So this is very important. ChatGPT doesn't replace you. It just helps you be quicker and find the people that most fit your interests and industry the fastest, okay? So this is a win-win. Everyone saves time. It just assists you, and it's your job then basically to do the hard work, chat to the person, and do everything, you know, be social, because social media is about being social. Once we have this prompt, we have to insert the proper rows here and the columns, so basically the cells. Now let's have a look at the prompt that we used here. Of course, we will use concatenate. So we use the GPT command, and it needs the whole prompt that it will send to ChatGPT. So with concatenate, we will create this prompt by using the data we entered by hand and the variable data that is in the columns, just as we did before. So let's copy this. And again, we go here. And now we have to make sure that this is correct. So that the name is in B2, that's correct. The LinkedIn headline is in E2. So it's very important that you get these columns right, okay? Otherwise it will generate some rubbish. So now we have the prompt, draft an introduction message adhering to this format. So now it created the message. And again, I can drag this onto other columns. So for simplicity's sake, I will just do this for 2, but you can do this for 100, 200, as many people as you have in your list. So now I can make those changes that I want. Again, this is a draft. I recommend always looking what it has created and make the necessary changes. So hi Lawrence, so you're a director in marketing. I work as a Gemini consultant, but staying in London for a few weeks. You caught my attention with your passion for climbing and how it inspires fresh ideas and determination in your work. So this is something it has extracted, as I said, from the About section. So now we can either adapt this to our tone or leave it as is and then send out the message. Very interesting. If I want to make this even more personalized, I can go onto their profile and see exactly the points that he or that they mentioned and include them here. All right, this is it. So then the message is ready to use and you can send it out, and this way cut at least 60 to 70% from your current time. By using GPT-4 Sheets, you have this possibility to bulk generate stuff just by dragging the formula onto all of the columns that we have seen with the events that we extracted information from and that we generated data from, people's about sections and generated messages. So don't forget, you can download this complete document in the link in the description below, where you have all the examples and the running prompts and where you have access to the sheets. Everything else we couldn't cover today you can find in the Make Work Obsolete community. There's a link in the description below. It's for business owners or operators that want to build their first AI automation without breaking the bank. Make sure you join via the link in the description. And if you like the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel. And this way you'll get the latest videos. Until the next one, cheers.